I want 2024 to be the year that you tackle your biggest fear. Fear holds us back from a lot of breakthrough and a lot of wonderful, amazing, positive things in your life. So I'm gonna get really vulnerable with you guys and share my experience of overcoming one of my biggest fears, public speaking. So if you wanna hear that story, just keep watching. Hi, I'm Christina. I am a YouTuber and furniture flipper. I have been a content creator full-time since 2019. So you may think you see me on camera all the time. I'm probably really comfortable speaking in front of people. I'm actually very terrified of speaking in front of people. Public speaking has always been something I'm very scared of. And I had a breakthrough this summer where I was put in the position where I had to do a public speak off, and I tried to get out of it, but I'm so glad that I pushed through that fear, and I've had so much breakthrough in this area. And so whatever you're believing for in 2024, I just want to be an encouragement to you that you can tackle your fears and break through whatever is trying to hold you back from your destiny. This story starts in summer of last year when I was invited to the Ramsey Influencer Event. If you don't know anything about Ramsey Solutions, they are based here in Nashville, Tennessee, and they provide products for personal finance and help people get out of debt. A couple years back, I was on the Rachel Cruze show and talked about furniture flipping as a side hustle, how to get out of debt, flipping furniture, as well as just using it as a means to decorate on a budget. So I'm assuming that's why I got invited to this event. And at this event, there were a lot of people who are in personal finance that are content creators. There were also a lot of people there that were interviewing to become a Ramsey personality. There's lots of teaching. There's lots of mingling with the staff there, seeing how they do all their productions, learning things about behind the scenes of building a show, building a podcast, lots of brand building information, such good knowledge of how to have a personal brand and how to grow it. This was a closed event, but I think they are eventually going to open this up to the public. So if that does happen, I will share that information with you because it was just done perfectly well. Their staff serves everybody with such excellence and just such good information. They're one of the biggest media, self-run media companies in the country, in the world. So definitely a lot to glean from them if you're a content creator. So this whole event kind of ends in this big speak off because there are a lot of people there interviewing to become a Ramsey personality. I was not one of those people. So when they told me we had to do this speak off at the end of this influencer event, I was like, I'm just gonna bow out of that because I'm not interviewing to be a personality. I have no desire to ever be a keynote speaker or public speak. And to be 100% honest with you, it terrifies me to death. My body just responds to speaking in public in a very negative way. My mind knows I'm okay, but my body starts shaking like a leaf. I start sweating uncontrollably. I know this might sound weird because I'm constantly on camera, but there's just a safety when I'm talking to a lens. I know you guys are on the other side, but I can't see you reacting to me in real time, and it just does something different to my body to have to speak in public. I had a dear friend come and stay with me and go to this event with me, Kara from Lemons to Lemonade here on YouTube, who flips furniture as well. So I got to experience this whole thing with her, and she took the speak off very seriously, which I should have done from the beginning. And I am repenting now that I did not take it seriously, and I was too scared to even move forward on it. So I didn't even consider doing it. I was just gonna pass. Well, the night before the speak off at the end of the event, Kara says, "Hey, can I run my speech by you? I've been working hard on it and I would love to share it with you." So Kara's speech is amazing and beautiful. It's all about her journey to get her family out of debt and how she's become a content creator and how she took like these skills that she didn't even know she had and she's turned it into a business for herself and her family and how much it's blessing their family. And she thanked me for helping her start that journey. So I'm sitting here in this place listening to this beautiful speech and I'm like, I needed to hear this and people need to hear this. And I start thinking, have I missed it? Did I miss it? Do I have a message to share with people? And I'm like, something is on the other side of my obedience of saying yes to doing this speech and, getting in front of all these people and being very vulnerable. Like somebody might need to hear the message that I have to encourage them in the next step in their journey, in their life. So I was feeling really convicted. Kara went to bed. She was all prepared for her speech and I literally had nothing. And I just said, God, if I missed it and I'm supposed to write a speech and do this, A, will you give me an idea? B, will you help me get it out? And C, will you be with me as a shaking leaf when I present in front of these people? Because God is so kind, he just put in my spirit that, hey, you need to share your story. You need to share your journey about how you got into furniture flipping, how you became a content creator, and what I'm doing in this next season for you. So I write the speech out, rehearse it, feel really unprepared and feeling really down on myself that I waited this long, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna get up in front of people and speak, and I'm gonna face that fear. So we have another day of programming. At the end of the programming, we're going to do this speak off, and there's 50 of us, and they broke us up into small groups. And from these small groups, they're gonna pick 10 people to go on stage and do a speak off. Well, that is not anywhere in my mind. I'm like, okay, I just wanna be able to get up in front of these 5 people in a conference room and these 2 staff members from Ramsey and get some feedback. Like for me, just making the speech, writing the speech and getting up and doing it in front of 5 people, that was enough for me. Sit down, I'm like feeling relieved. I'm like, okay, I did that. Like I just wanted to get up. I just wanted to write the speech. I just wanted to do it. I hated every minute of it. So the announcer comes out on stage to say who is going to be like these 10 finalists that are now going to get on stage with a microphone and monitors and speak in front of everyone. And they call my name third. And I freak out and I say, what? And they say, well, you're not going to do it. And I thought in that moment, like, do I have a choice? Because no, I don't want to do it. But I don't know. So many people had worked so hard. I felt guilty that I had gotten in by the skin of my teeth by doing it the night before. Like, God, why are you rewarding this? I procrastinated, but I did repent. I didn't know how I was going to step up on that stage because I had flubbed through my speech. It was too long. There was a part that had gotten muddy. So I was kind of talking in my head about, okay, I'm going to take this part out. So I'm kind of running through all that stuff in my head. I'm like looking at my notes. And then all of a sudden I was just like, if I don't know this now, I don't know it. And I put my notes on and I just prayed. I said, okay, God, you've clearly put me here because somebody needs to hear this message. So will you please just be with me and empower me to get up on that stage and calm my body and help me get this message out? Like I will do it if just one person in here needs to hear this. In the first 30 seconds of getting up there, I completely blanked on what my first line was. And you will see that happen because I'm going to play the speech for you. And I don't know, I just took a deep breath and all of a sudden it came back in and I did the speech and it felt natural. My body was under control. I wasn't sweating once I hit the stage. Before the stage I was, but this message just came out. So I think it was something that needed to come out. I think it was something that somebody needed to hear. And it was just a reminder to me of the faithfulness of God and just what saying yes can do. So again, I was reminded, okay, I'm saying yes to this thing that I really don't want to do, but I think it's going to bless somebody. So without further ado, here is my speech and I hope you enjoy it.
Christina!
Thank you. I want to say thank you to Timmy because your words spoke directly to my heart because I am terrified right now and I don't want to be here doing this. But I believe because Tim had a word for me, I have a word for someone in this room. So Jesus, have your way. Let it go. Gonna need your help, Ryan. Oh, you guys. Okay, here we go. God has already told you what you need to do. You just need to obey. Those are the words that I heard coming off the TV screen as I was sitting there in the mother's room at church, nursing my brand new baby boy. And in that moment, I knew I had to obey God and I was gonna be a stay-at-home mom. Now to understand why this is such a weighty decision for me, we have to go way back to the 1980s when an 8-year-old little Chrissy with a bad perm got a C in reading. That C in reading landed me in a months-long session with the school counselor who would speak to me with a stuffed dolphin puppet. I have no idea what that man ever said to me. I don't really remember those sessions, but I do remember in that moment that I partnered with a lie
that performance and achievement were the way to receive love and attention and affection. And so going back to that mother's room in that church, when God told me to stay home, I was stepping away from everything I had worked for my entire life. From that moment, because I never wanted to talk to that puppet again, I started doing really well in school. And I did so well all the way through high school that I got a full ride to MTSU, which is right down the street, which sounds really great. I graduated college completely debt-free. Sounds awesome, right? But I was also graduating college with a performance identity, and that's all that mattered. All that mattered is I had to perform. It was my worth. It was my value. It was the only thing that mattered, and I carried that through my corporate journey for the next 7 years. Okay, so we're back in the mother's nursing room. I'm gonna stay home. What happens? I stay home for 7 years. I raise 3 children, and God starts stripping things away. He strips away those awards. He strips away all those achievements. He strips away everything I've worked for my entire life that I think is my only value, is the only thing that matters. And I don't know about you, but who's a parent in the room? Do you get a 360 review from your kids? Do you get a lot of praise? No, it's really hard. It's really hard. And during those long days, when I didn't know why I was doing it or what I was doing, I held on to that assurance that God had told me this is what he wanted me to do, and I was walking in obedience. And I trusted him, and even though it was scary, and even though I didn't know why I was doing it, I kept doing it, and he was with me. So here's the crazy story. In 2014, I started painting furniture because we had no money to decorate our house. And this woman was really big, her name was Joanna Gaines, and she would paint everything white, and she would distress it, and it would be beautiful. And I started doing the same thing. And I created a blog, and I called it Pretty Distressed, because I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was pretty distressed, and so was my furniture. And I fell in love with it, you guys. I created a blog. I got a URL. I don't know why. I created a YouTube channel just because I wanted to put those videos on my blog. I didn't think anybody would ever watch them. But guess what? Some people did. And in 2019, I had saved up enough money from my now monetized YouTube channel to buy a new laptop and to go to a DIY conference called Haven in Atlanta. And while I was there, I met women just like me that had a passion, that were creating content, but they were making a full-time income. And as I was walking back to that last session, I felt God speak directly to my heart this time and not use somebody else from a stage and say, you're gonna do this. You're gonna be a full-time creator. And I said, that's great. I love this idea. In a year, when my youngest son is in kindergarten, I'll do it, I'll go for it. And he said, no, you're gonna do it now. And I went back to that moment in that mother's nursing room in the church where he said, you already know what I want you to do. You just need to obey. So I went home and I told my husband, hey, I'm gonna blow our lives up. Are you in? And he said, yeah, I'm in. I come into agreement with you. We figured out childcare. I made a video a week for 6 months and nothing happened. Didn't take off, didn't get 1 million views, but it was chugging along. And then in March of 2020, what happened, guys? The world shut down. We were all in our homes. We were all looking at our furniture saying, I hate that. Your mother gave that to us 20 years ago. It was ugly then, it's ugly now. Let's buy something. Could you buy furniture in 2020? Yeah, and it'll be here in 2025. So do you know what people did? They picked up their paintbrush. They went to the hardware store that never closed. They went online to the paint companies that I had been working with and bought paint because those never closed either. And they went to my YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel kicked up. If I would have done my plan and said, I'll wait a year, I would have missed that moment by a year. But God knew. And not only did God know that that timing was gonna be perfect for me, and not only did he bless that YouTube channel because I said yes when he asked me to, he's blessed a Instagram, he's blessed a TikTok, he's blessed a Facebook that now has 1.7 million followers. And that little hobby that I did to help fulfill me is now an LLC that brought in $300,000 last year. But you guys, that's not the end. That's not the goal. Because last year he started talking to me about something else. And I knew I'm gonna have to obey again, aren't I? And last week, I launched a new brand and a baby podcast with a dear friend where we're speaking into people like you who want to have integrity in this influencing space because it's got a bad rap right now. And we're teaching them all the things that we've learned along the way, all the pile of crap that we're standing on that they said this morning. And I don't know where it's going to go, but I know that God's got my back. And the word for you today is I'm a living, breathing testimony standing here on this stage telling you, trust God's voice, trust his plan. You already know what God wants you to do. You just need to obey. Love you guys.
Look at you. That was so good.
It's the worst thing that I've ever had to do. This is the first time I've ever spoken on a microphone with monitors, and it was terrifying.
You had 3 babies. You can do anything, right?
That's right. Thank you.
I want to say this. So Dave still does this. He takes his moment before he starts. He still does this. Dave Ramsey, he'll stop, he'll pause.
I thought Ryan was really going to bring me my phone with my notes because I feel like we went through something. Is he even over there? Oh, that's why he didn't come up and save me. And I was like, oh my gosh, Ryan, I thought we bonded.
He straight took his phone and ran.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that actually is a huge takeaway. Like gathering your thoughts and silence is actually very underutilized by most speakers. Like letting the pause, letting the breathe. People are going to be locked in. You betcha everyone's paying attention. What's going to happen next, right? So great job, great recovery from that. Thank you. Thanks for getting on stage. The way you told the story and wove in different threads, and you had you jumped around in the timeline, but it was cohesive. I followed you. It really was a powerful word. And I think that you just had some natural like moments of levity too, like where you were just being yourself and it was just super authentic, super you. Thank you, Christina. That was awesome.
I'm so thankful to the Ramsey team to inviting me to this event. They are supposed to open it up to the public. So if they do that, I'll give you guys more information about it. If you are in the finance space or you're a creator and influencer and just want some tools and really practical things that are going to help you build your brand and your business. I'm really thankful for Ramsey for helping push me out of my comfort zone. It's helped me tackle a lot of new things recently, like dealing with our podcast and doing remote videos. It has given me a breakthrough of what's the worst that can happen if I say yes. So I'm no longer fighting that fear. And when I feel that fear, I'm actually pressing in because the breakthrough on the other side of actually taking on that fear is so beautiful. And fear is such a liar, you guys. Like, what is the worst that could happen? I get up there, I forget my speech, I feel embarrassed, but guess what? I would have sat down and I would have still woken up the next day and life would have moved on. But if I would have said no and sat there, I would have never known. I would have never had that breakthrough of, yes, I can get up and I can talk in front of people and I can share a message. And I think all of us have a beautiful, important message to share. And we all have the ability to encourage each other and encourage someone. So I just want to encourage you, whatever that fear is that you are facing down for 2024, I think that you can do it. Press in, don't run away. And there's going to be a beautiful breakthrough on the other side for you, and you have no idea who you're going to encourage along the way and what your message might be to somebody else. I know this video was a little different for you guys, but this was a moment that really defined my 2023, and I wanted to share it with you. If you like this type of video, let me know down in the comments. If you hate it, you can let me know too, but I just wanted to get this message out to you guys. I hope it blesses you, and I will be back with another video soon.